Hello class, I'm going to talk to you about linear perspective today. And linear perspective is one way to create the illusion of space in a drawing. So three-dimensional art forms such as sculpture and architecture occupy actual space. As you likely know, drawing is two-dimensional. It's flat, okay? But through linear perspective, you can create the illusion that it has depth, that the image recedes into space. So there's many ways that you could create the illusion of space, but one of them is linear perspective. And linear perspective is built upon the likely familiar visual phenomena that as parallel lines recede, they appear to meet on a horizon. And you've likely seen this if you've looked down a set of railroad tracks. Okay, they look like they're going to meet somewhere. Okay, and in a drawing, this is called the horizon line. Okay, and these parallel lines will meet at a spot on the horizon line called the vanishing point. So in one-point perspective, the receding lines are going to appear to converge at one vanishing point. And in this type of perspective, it's going to look like you're looking at the scene head-on. Okay, and this horizon can be placed anywhere. It doesn't have to be placed in the middle. It's placed up here, down here, even be placed off the page. As well as the vanishing point. The vanishing point does not necessarily have to be in the middle. Okay, you place it to the side, in any other number of places. Okay, and this brings us back to a scene that some of us may be familiar with. You look down a pair of railroad tracks, or I'm sure everybody's been familiar with if you look down, a road. So here's an example of one-point perspective in a work by Leonardo da Vinci, okay, a Renaissance artist. And this is around the time that perspective was discovered, was in the Renaissance. Okay, so we're going to talk about another type of perspective, and this is two-point perspective. In two-point perspective, you're looking at the scene from an angle, and this often kind of look a little bit more lifelike and natural. Okay, and in two-point perspective, the receding lines appear to converge at two vanishing points, as you can see here. So here's an example of a painting that shows two-point perspective. Okay, and then here's some construction lines that are drawn over the painting to show you how these edges will lead to two vanishing points. And in this case, one of the vanishing points is on the page right here, and the other vanishing point is off the page. And when you're drawing from life, this is probably more often the case than not. Okay, so here's some example of cubes that are drawn in two-point perspective. So you're probably wondering, like, okay, well, we're doing an observational drawing class, and I see a lot of simulated environments. I see a lot of cubes floating, in these imaginary places. And our study is helpful for creating that, but it's also going to be helpful for when we draw from life, so that you could draw environments in perspective. So let's say you're going to draw your room, and understanding of linear perspective will help give you a better idea of what angle your edges should be at.